This is number one fumble. And so if they hired 5 advisors to go sit in a room with them, these are logical players. You're one of them. What counsel do you give to them?
Well, when I was driving here this morning, I know the White House watches your show. They watch mine, but not as much. But I've been told by the folks they love your show, and I hope they listen. I know they listen. Mark Mitchell, the pollster, was on my show a few months ago, and they really liked what he had to say. So the vice president brought him to meet with Trump and tried to explain the same stuff. Which, Mitchell was on my show yesterday just saying, this is, you got to stop. He's right. He's one of the most accurate pollsters. It's killing Trump. My family, people on the street, my callers, my listeners, I've got my finger on the pulse. I don't need a poll to tell people want a rebel that goes after the evil deep state. We cut our teeth exposing the Democrats as the pedophile protection party. It's Keir Starmer was the head judge that.
I totally agree with Alex Jones. While we all know that there are millions of files on Epstein, not everything is real. Sometimes people mention has nothing to do with it. Because even Tony Hawk was in it. They said he got married on the island, except he wasn't. This was an entire show on MTV back in the day. My point is that we have to be careful. Normal people who hear this will not be able to distinguish between what's real and what's pure propaganda pushing by the left.
Wouldn't prosecute one pedophile for 15 years in the UK and protected the Islamic grooming gangs. And then now he's all tied in with all these people at Epstein's Island, and he won't resign. I mean, it's like they're up to their eyeballs in the real stuff, and Trump is just saying, I'm not involved, I didn't do anything, I dropped the dime, which is in the FBI files. Well, where's Trump at a press conference? See, I was the FBI informant. I got him arrested 18 years ago. I broke down Roger Stone like 11 years ago before he even ran. So that's what's crazy is, though, he knows there's so much garbage. And that's what they explain. They go, sir, in the last year of Biden, they implemented this tip line. And I was telling people that were in the cabinet meetings when they convinced him of this. They go, sir, they implemented this tip line. And anybody by fax or email or phone can call in and fill out a report. So schizophrenic women, like in August, you'll call in and say, I was at Mar-a-Lago and Trump and Elon, raped me and all of a sudden. And it turns out they weren't even at Mar-a-Lago then. Or another report. I was at this golf course this year and Trump raped me and did this. The golf course wasn't built for 5 years. So Trump goes, what? You mean there's a public? And now, sir, you see Jamie Raskin and Schumer. Trump is in the files 1 million times. Well, because it's all so now they've got this ongoing tip line. So when you hear that there's 3 million more files they haven't given you, next month it'll be 5 million. You understand? Because it's a perpetual motion machine. It's a cornucopia. It just spews it. So I'm not defending this. I'm telling you what Trump's been told. And that's why I said he's told it'll crash the stock market. Bondi yesterday, it'll crash the stock market. And it's not like if they had targets they could get, or even a few of their own people they could sacrifice, they do it. They know it's a giant mess of BS and crap. And then the women that are the victims and the survivors, almost all of them were, got into it. And that's how it worked. And we're actually madams, out running these operations. And now they've been recruited and snapped up by the Democrats and are now on the payroll. That way, all the Democrats that are in there can be protected by the witnesses. Oh, we're not going to talk about kids disappearing or beef jerky. We're not going to talk about one piece of pizza that's glowing and loving and you're going to love it for 7 people. We're not going to talk about, we'll deliver the...
These are in the files?
Oh, yes. We'll deliver the 7, 9, and 12-year-old to the hot tub for your entertainment, Mr. Podesta. But remember, they're children, but they're well-trained. But you got to, yeah. And it's not just it's also in the WikiLeaks files. So all the same crap is in there that is in here. And it all just goes.
This is the clip you were talking about, Rob, if you want to play it. Don Lemon on Anderson Cooper saying you shouldn't go after Epstein's files. Go ahead.
I think it's interesting when you look on the internet and you see the bigotry on the internet and the people who have been, these conspiracy theories about QAnon and about Jeffrey Epstein. There's a picture of me on the internet, right, where someone has superimposed the face of Jeffrey Epstein over Chris Cuomo and I, like hanging out, and there are people who actually believe it. And people say, well, not all Trump supporters are bigots or racists. Okay, fine, you can believe that. But when I look at all the people who put things like that on the internet, 99 times out of 100, it is a Trump supporter. So people should think about that as they are placing those things on the internet, as they are wearing political messages in the workplace as well.
Yeah. Well, talking about that, there's a fake flight manifest that has like 100.
That you're on it.
Yeah, I'm allegedly on it. Obviously, if you want to see who was on that flight, there are court documents, and there's like a handful of people whose names you might know who were. Who were ever on any flights of his.
Here's the same tag they ran. WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, about 2 months before the election in 2016, releases millions of emails. So everybody goes and jumps in them and verifies them and checks them. And there's all these emails about upstate New York and other places with the Podestas, with others, like, hey, we're going to have our Thelema rituals tomorrow. We're bringing the spirit cooking. That's blood. And it's all in there. And there's famous emails and it's a well-known woman that ran a service where kids come and play with you, and you can order them online and stuff, and it's her delivering the 3 children to John Podesta at the wooded facility, and then they'll be in the hot tub waiting for you for your entertainment. And this is all the reality. Well, how did they divert off? They then had the New York Times and CNN report on 4chan and 8chan, diverting off to a pizza place in D.C. that the people were part of, but nothing was really going on there, with imaginary underground torture facilities that didn't exist, so they could go report on the fake story instead of the real stuff over there, you understand? So that's how they were discrediting it, saying, oh, there's no Epstein, there's no pedophilia, it's all fake stuff about us. And that's another thing happening. Somebody's flooding Facebook, X, TikTok with famous footage of Trump at beauty pageants and things like that.
Young girls, these are all AI deepfakes. They're everywhere.
And they march in the little girls. Yeah. And
AI video is absolutely going insane. There's so many fake stuff that is indistinguishable from the real thing. Lots of lefties are holding on to this stuff. And of course, I would be upset too if I'm seeing all this stuff and I believe that it's all true, but yet nothing is being done about it. Sometimes I don't even blame them for being so triggered all the time, because I would too. Imagine believing all that, and then you see the guy that they're blaming it on is winning the presidency.
Everywhere.
And they march in the little girls. Yeah. And it's admitted fake. You can even see it's famous videos of Trump. You can find the original video at a pageant.
But they work. Even if 20% believes it, they work. Some of these clips, I don't know about this one. No. There are some of them that's literally young girls. You'll see like 10-year-old, 12-year-old girls that deep fakes are being made.
It's the one that starts with there's a bunch of them, with like a little girl crying on stairs holding her crotch. It's not pornographic, but clearly the implication she's just been raped. And then it cuts to all these shots of Trump at Mar-a-Lago and stuff that are known videos that we know and then they mesh them in with all these little girls. They're crying and Trump's pointing at them, and then they cut in. Yeah, it's sick.
Did you see the 2006 phone call that the president made to the PD saying, hey, Ghislaine Maxwell's evil? That story that came out 2 days ago. You saw that?
Yes.
Rob, if you want to pull that up. Trump told Palm Beach police chief everyone knew about Epstein. Maxwell was evil. Go a little bit lower. So why did this story not come out earlier? Why is it coming out now?
Well, this is spinning like it's bad that he said they were bad then, but now he says it's not bad now. Roger Stone wrote a book on this. We were all vetting Trump. I was, right before I endorsed him. I was one of the first to do it. It was on record, and it come out in court, that Trump dropped the dime on him 18 years ago because he pulled Virginia Giuffre, who was like 15 and worked there, out, and he got pissed off about it. And so you even have Michael Wolff in recordings going back 5, 6, 7 years of them trying to get him to say something about Trump. He's like, no, he never got a massage. No, he never was around the girls. He was never around the kids. No, but he did drop a dime on me, and he's a piece of shit, and he's the worst guy ever, and he's such a scammer, and he rips everybody off in business, which means Trump beats people. So I mean, it's literally Trump dropped everything Roger Stone told me back when he was trying to recruit me to support Trump, that Trump was going to win, which I vetted and got into. He explained how it all worked and how they're going to attack Trump for this, but it was really Trump first exposed it. And then now all that stuff has come out because Roger lives here. I mean, he's been at Mar-a-Lago since Trump got it. He's been Trump's friend for 50 years. Everything Roger's ever told me has been accurate. I mean, he told me, and by the way, I like Steve Bannon. I don't think Steve Bannon's a bad guy. He was involved with Epstein. Epstein was very politically powerful. He was really the shadow head of the Trilateral Commission. People say he can control these world leaders. He really did. Okay, the emails of Bannon are, how do we overthrow the left and get populists in the UK? And he's asking Epstein advice on that. So, I mean, Bannon calls me all the time and sends me links and says, how do we do this? How do you put pressure on that? Hey, we need to get on this. Bannon works like 18 hours a day. I'm not defending it. I probably wouldn't have hung out with Epstein. But the contacts with him are there, and it's what Bannon always said they were. It was elections. It was contacts, because Epstein was like, you could get any number you wanted, any information from him. So Bannon was going, he even says in the interview, are you the devil? You know, you're a pretty bad guy.
Can you pull up that clip? That's
So, but I mean, he's like going to the Trilateral Commission. This is David Rockefeller handed it over to him.
How many hours was that? Did he say 14 hours?
Well, they say there's a whole bunch of hours, but I think all the feds got was like 2 hours.
Wolf has 100 hours. I had Wolf on and we talked about it. Rob played his clip.
I told him the devil,
100%.
the devil
himself.
The devil himself said, "I'm going to exchange some dollars for your child's life."
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question.
Sorry.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Because you have all the attributes. You're incredibly smart. You remember, the devil is somebody
the devil
knows.
Smart?
The devil's brilliant. You read Milton's Paradise Lost.
No, the devil scares me.
Satan is the
Good for Bannon for asking this.
Number 1 or 2 archangel. And the reason he goes to hell and leads the rebellion is because he can't be the top guy. And his thing is, I'd rather reign in hell than serve in heaven.
I saw that in a movie once called American Dharma. I don't remember who said it. Okay, we have to go.
Okay, good.
Okay. Told him.
Epstein might not be the devil himself, but he's very close. Some of the stuff I've seen from the Epstein file cannot be normal. Any normal person would see that with disgust. And for that guy to enjoy it is pretty sick and demonic.
For that. And in the Old Testament, they say you don't get involved in it, but then you get the New Testament start getting written, like there's 30 plus other books, written by the rabbinic mainline, Jewish groups since then. And then there's a bunch of books written by Solomon, and I've actually read them. And that's the symbol of Israel, is really the seal of Solomon. It's not the Star of David. That's just a made-up modern name. But in all of that, there are experts on it, like serious scholars that don't really practice it, but know how to decipher it. So remember when James O'Keefe got footage inside that showed the temple and gargoyles and everything inside the blue and white striped temple with the gods and goddesses on top of it, and the chimeric gods, mix of animals and humans. So, but by the time O'Keefe got that footage, somebody had erased the answer to the equation. So he had this esoteric equation, but only if you do Kabbalistic research and then all the modern stuff, AI and everything integrated into it, would you then get the answer? And then the answer is the takeover and total enslavement and destruction of humanity, and how they're going to use AI and all these other systems integrated into the banking system to do it. And then when you watch the interview with Bannon, he's talking about, and that interview was like 2018, he's talking about how the AI is already out of control. We don't even know how to program it. It's going to take over, but it's okay. We're going to merge with it. And you can see that he's at the highest levels of all of this, planning this with big tech and everybody else. I mean, it's truly insane.
Yeah. By the way, you were mentioned in the files, 14 times? And I think in one of the letters, he said something negative about you and called the president an elephant. I don't know what it was. Jones is crazier than Trump or the elephant. Who's Paul Krasner? Who's Paul Krasner?
He's a globalist. You look him up.
Yeah.
But there's actually 16 we found now.
16.
Yeah, but I like the fact he doesn't like me.
That's a compliment.
But I love how
similar to Rogan.
I love how my enemies spun it though. They would spin it like Jones is in the files, he won't respond, and I'd see all.
Yeah, Alex Jones in the file, but Epstein was talking trash about him. But the mainstream won't say that. All they say is Alex Jones is in the file, just like there are many mentions of Trump in it. Many of them were negative comment coming from Epstein towards Trump, but they would just say that Trump is in the file. They won't go into detail what was said. And people who are just normal, who barely pays attention to the news, are going to believe these. And that's the point. They hear this and they're like, Trump is guilty, Alex Jones is guilty, or whoever. And that's the point. Remember, Obama and Biden both had a chance to release all these files, but they didn't. But now that Trump is in there, of course, he's covering it up. But they're not going to talk about why they didn't release it. And people believe this.
These comments, I'm like, what do you mean I didn't respond? I just covered it as soon as I knew about it. It's like, but they just throw it out like, anyways.
Who is this guy, Rob?
This is according to Google, this is Paul Krasner, the person that was emailing Jeffrey Epstein this specific email right here.
Got it. Question for you about Thomas Massie, Rob. Can you pull up the clip with Massie and Bondi? There's a part about Massie and Bondi going back and forth. This is it. I want to get your thoughts on Massie. Go ahead, Rob.
Respond, and then the gentleman can move to his next question.
It's my time.
Within 40 minutes, you asked me a question. Within 40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
There was one redaction out
Where
of
he's
over
listed as a
4,700,
co-conspirator.
and we invited you in.
Gentlemen,
This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to get. You're a failed politician.
Gentlemen,
You need to
I
get
want
on
you to watch
these
the video.
matters.
Mr. Chairman, please restore his time and remind the witness of the rules here.
There is no credible information.
Pam Bondi was a disaster in that hearing. One of the worst I've ever heard. She should be fired over that. She rambled on about the stock market when she's asked about Epstein, and it just made her look bad. I used to like Bondi, but I think she should be gone solely based on how she handled the whole Epstein congressional hearing. It was a disgrace. If you like this kind of content, please hit the like button and comment. Till then, see ya.